Hey there, Tad Hargrave, Marketing for Hippies, and want to talk today about this idea of industry presentations. This is something I got from a fellow named Chet Holmes years ago from his book, The Ultimate Sales Machine. And I think it's one of the most brilliant ideas out there, and it combines hub marketing with niche marketing in an interesting way. So years ago, I was in Nova Scotia doing a workshop somewhere around Wolfville, I think, and there was a woman who sold cloth diapers there. And I was talking a lot about using workshops as a way to promote what you do. And she said, well, that's nice, but I can't use workshops as a way to promote cloth diapers. I said, well, why not? She said, because people either use cloth diapers already, so they would never go to a workshop about it, 'cause they already get it, or they think they're disgusting and they would never use them because of that. So they wouldn't come to this workshop. I said, oh, that's interesting. I said, but my guess is, though they wouldn't come to that, they might come to a workshop on natural parenting. And you could either do all that content yourself, or you could partner with a bunch of other people. So lactation specialists, infant massage, how to feed your baby, healthy organic food, conflict between parent and spouse, postpartum depression. There's so many different people you could partner with to do a natural parenting workshop. And so that's an example of what I'm talking about, is where you don't do a presentation about your product or service, you do it about the general issue. You focus on that and you use it as a chance to educate people about their options in handling that issue. There was another fellow who was a mortgage broker in Calgary, and his niche, he told me, was focusing on entrepreneurs, because it's one of the easiest kinds of financing available for an entrepreneur to refinance their home if they have one. So I said, it's interesting. You should go to these morning breakfast, mixers, business mixers. And he said, I've tried, but they haven't really welcomed me in. And my feeling was he was probably going with this pitch of, let me come and pitch my mortgage broking services to you, which of course they won't be interested in. But if he came up with a presentation around the 5 major types of financing for a business and the upsides and downsides of all of them, I think that'd be very interesting. So he might say, credit card is an option for financing, lines of credit, bank loans from friends and family, and also refinancing. And he could go over all of them in a very fair, even-handed way and say, here's the time when credit card is the best thing. Here's the time when friends and family are the best. Here's the upsides of it. Here's the downsides of it. All this, including the upsides and downsides of refinancing your home, because of course there's both. And then just say, look, so shameless plug, I'm a mortgage broker. If this one it feels like a fit based on what I'm saying, I'd be happy to talk with you. And then that ties in the filtering that I speak of also. You just let people know, here's how you would know if it was a fit for you. There was a law firm that did a similar thing where they had some technology that helped with research. And because there's so many volumes of new information all the time in law, and so some technology that helped with this, but they couldn't seem to sell it because they would try to call the law firm, but the secretary or whoever runs it couldn't make a decision, and they couldn't seem to get through to the actual decision makers. So what do you do? So they came up with a presentation. I think this was under Chet Holmes' guidance, where it was a workshop called The Top 5 Threats Facing Law Firms in 1990, whatever, and what you can do about it. And the presentation was an hour long over lunch, and it was a very well researched and informed thing that wasn't just about the issues that they dealt with, but say, here's what's happening in the law industry. And one of the things that's happening is this overwhelming increase of information. And so here's something that can help you with that. Here's a shameless plug. This is something we offer if you're interested. Talk to us about it. There was a woman in one of my workshops who sold oils, essential oils. I think it was doTERRA. And we spoke about this because she was saying, how do I reach, how do I sell these? And one of the ideas she had was to sell them to holistic practitioners as a way to add income to their business, by basically adding a product. I said, well, that's actually an interesting idea. But, if you go to a holistic practitioner and say, hey, can I pitch you on joining my MLM? The likelihood of a positive response is pretty low. I said, but if you did a workshop on, 5 different types of products you could add to your massage business, for example, or 5 ways to add income to your massage practice without doing any more massages. And then you could do a presentation where you could say, look, there's a lot of ways you could do this. You could Um, you could create ebooks. You could create a home study course. You could start doing workshops. You could do this. And one of the other things is products. And there's a lot of products that a lot of massage therapists don't think of that they could sell. And one of them, essential oils. People who are into massage would tend to be into this. You could, of course, sell them just without trying to grow a business, or you could grow a business as well, not necessarily with your clients, but with other people, etc. And the last one was, this was years ago. This was one of my early workshops, 2005 in Nova Scotia. And there was, in Mahone Bay, there's I think it was Birdsall Pottery Studios. And one of the things I realized was that, 'cause it's a good question to ask, why do people buy what I'm selling? In their case, when they asked themselves, what are people buying? They realized it was usually around commemoration, because these pottery pieces are beautiful and they're also very expensive. And so it was a big deal to buy something like this, a plate or a set of plates, or, something like that. And so it was to commemorate something, a graduation, a wedding. They were often bought as gifts in that way. So if you realize that it's about commemorating, then you might also think of other things you could sell in your shop. So journals, cards. It'd probably be good to have connections with other photographers in town, people who make trophies. Hopefully you get the idea. Anything that would help people commemorate something. Now that could be done in a workshop. Certainly, it could be done for businesses, ways to commemorate big milestones of your employees, or I don't know if that one lends itself quite as well to workshops, but maybe. But hopefully you get the idea of these kinds of collaborations that can happen across businesses, where you think about, okay, what's the problem that we're really solving for them, and what might be other ways, and how could we also be a resource for those things? And then you start to see where the referral networks can happen, where somebody comes into this pottery place and say, oh yeah, there's our weddings coming up, or our daughter's weddings coming. Oh, do they have a photographer yet? Do they have all these things? And you can start asking and supporting them. It seems like it has nothing to do with pottery, but it's got everything to do with the bigger why commemoration, which of course speaks to Simon Sinek's work with Start With Why, which I would really recommend. Maybe I'll put a link to the video below. But if you can get clear on the issue you're helping people with, the result you're producing, and the bigger why, the bigger cause sort of behind the work that you do, you may find you're able to cobble together either some hubs and joint ventures, strategic alliances with other business, but also maybe collaborative presentations that you could do. So lots of options. Those are a few stories. I've been wanting to record this video for a few months now, and I hope you like it. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below, and I'll see if I can respond.